What's up, folks? Welcome back to my channel. Today we're talking about the top 5 reasons why I chose the iPhone 11 over the iPhone 11 Pro. Let's get into it. Reason number 1 why I chose the iPhone 11 over the iPhone 11 Pro is actually because they're really similar. Looking under the hood internally, they're actually about 90% the same. We credit Apple with delivering the new A13 Bionic chip and the 3rd gen Neural engine to both models. So deep down when you're looking at it, speed, efficiency, being able to handle software in the future, you're not going to see any difference in the 11 and the 11 Pro. So that made me really take a hard look at the 11, and that was number 1 factor why I chose the iPhone 11. Reason number 2 why I chose the iPhone 11, and that is the big ticket item, the cameras. Now, the cameras are what everyone comes for, why most people upgrade their phones, and I will say the iPhone 11 and 11 Pro have outstanding picture quality. The iPhone 11 Pro really delivers on the camera end, and it's an excellent camera for photography and videography. That being said, again, the iPhone 11 delivers about 90% of that performance for a fraction of the cost. So in taking a look at the hardware, Apple actually delivered their newest quality, which is the ultra wide, and is an f2.4 ultra wide with about 120 degrees field of view. And I'm happy to say that the exact same lens that Apple delivers in their iPhone 11 Pro is actually the same in the iPhone 11. So the ultra wide is the exact same camera, same performance, same speed, same lens, same everything. So that's an awesome feature where the 11 doesn't miss out at all to the 11 Pro. Now looking at the standard wide, we are seeing an upgrade in that camera as well. And again, it is the exact same camera in the 11 Pro as in the 11. I'm also really happy to say, and this was a big selling factor for the 11, is it also includes the new night mode that the Pro has. Now, I probably would have guessed that the Pro would have had that feature and the 11 not, but thankfully it does, and the night mode is outstanding in these phones. It is really nice, on par with many of its competitors now. Flipping around to the front side of the camera, we see that Apple has delivered a new 12 megapixel 4K delivering front-facing camera that is able to capture 24, 30, 60 frames per second, as well as 120 frames per second slow motion. I'm not going to use the Slofi name, which I just dropped there, but the camera is the exact same. The Pro and the 11 have the exact same front-facing camera and all the qualities that come with that. So that's outstanding as well. Where the 11 lacks, and you can obviously see it, you probably already know this, is the telephoto lens. And I'll tell you my reasoning why I didn't really miss the telephoto lens. I previously had the iPhone X or 10 or however you want to pronounce it, and it did come with that telephoto lens, and I found myself very rarely using it, and I mainly used it for portrait mode. And that portrait mode is now standard in the wide, on the front as well in the 11 and 11 Pro. So I really don't use that telephoto lens, and I doubt that many of you do either. You can simply walk forward and get to that closer point to alleviate using that lens at all, and I'm not going to miss it. So the only difference there is the telephoto lens, and I was happy to do without that. So in terms of picture quality, again, 90% of it is delivered on the iPhone 11, and that is why I chose that. 3, why I chose the 11 over the 11 Pro is actually some of the differences in hardware. The main difference that the Pro has that the 11 doesn't is the new OLED display. And yes, it is bright, it is colorful, it is beautiful. I really like the OLED display. But that being said, I really do like the LED liquid retina display that the iPhone 11 has. And many of you will take a look at this display and have no complaints. You will really enjoy it, and you really see the differences in the Pro and the 11 display when they're side by side. If I were to pick one or the other up and do a blind study and be watching YouTube, I'm probably not going to be able to pick out the differences and the increased quality. I mean, maybe a really trained eye would see that, but for 90% of the population, we're not going to see those differences unless they're right next to each other. So I'm very satisfied with the display on the 11. I don't need the extra OLED display yet. Maybe in the future, once more things are accommodating to that display, I would love to have it. But for right now, I'm happy with the 11 display, and that's not a big enough selling point to go with the 11 Pro. So that was why I went with the 11. In addition, and this may be an unpopular opinion, but I actually like a little bit of bezel around my phone. It helps me grip, it helps me hold it. It gives me something to hold on to without tapping things on the screen. You know, when I use some of the Samsung Galaxy line of phones with the really thin bezels, and now the 11 Pro has a very thin bezel, I find myself touching the displays and unnecessarily hitting things that I don't want to. So it's actually a little bit annoying. So I really do like the bezels. To be honest, my 11-year-old self took over in the shopping experience, and one of the things I love the most are the cool retro colors that Apple has delivered in these new iPhone 11 models. I really like the pastels, the greens. I picked up this mint green. I think it's really cool, slightly girly, but whatever. I got my wife the iPhone 11 in yellow, and I think that's an awesome color, and I really like the colors across the board. Yeah, the dark green is really cool in the 11 Pro, and the standard black or white if you're into that, but I actually really enjoy the colors. I think they're neat. Did I just say neat? I really like the colors, and that is another reason why I picked up the iPhone 11. Reason number 4 why I chose the 11 is actually battery life. And we are seeing in some of the sales displays that the 11 Pro actually is said to have an additional 4 to 5 hours of battery life. And I think that is fantastic. If you really need maximum battery life, that's a great way to go. The 11 Pro does have very, very good battery life. However, most of us, me included, and I'd say 90% of the population that I know, charge their phone every night. So really all we need is our phones to get through one full day of heavy usage, and the 11 does that just fine. With the new A13 chip, it's more efficient, and that battery life goes much further than the previous models that you may be used to or you may be upgrading from. So for me, when I take a look at battery life, I don't look at, oh, is it gonna last me 2 days or a day and a half or 3 days or 47 hours of talk time or whatever. Like, I don't really care about that. Just get me through one day and I'll plug in at the end of the night and we're good to go. So for me, that's reason number 4. The battery life is just fine on the iPhone 11. It's actually a big upgrade from some of the iPhones in the past. Reason number 5, and probably the most important reason for you guys and definitely for myself, was the value and price of these phones. The iPhone 11 comes in at $699 versus the Pro's $999, and that's just the lowest memory, which you will want to upgrade from that. So in just overall looking at it, I thought the value was just there for the 11, that I didn't see the value in the Pro. Battery, screen, and the telephoto lens wasn't enough for me to pay that premium $300 or $400 in price jump between the two. And I was just very happy with the iPhone 11, the specs that it has. I think it's a great deal. I think it's a wonderful value. And for 90% of us out there, we're not going to use those extra features and appreciate them for the increase in price. So that's all I got for you today. Those are my top 5 reasons why I chose the iPhone 11, and I think you should too. If you like this video, please hit me a like and subscribe. Share this with a friend who's shopping for an iPhone. I appreciate you being here. Until next time, guys. Peace.